Cheers, guys. Epix 911. Welcome to the Elitist Geek. In this video, I want to talk a bit more about HTC Vive specific features. Now, some of these apply to the Rift as well, but because I don't have the Rift yet, I didn't dig deep enough to make sure that, what necessarily was cross-platform, right? But what I wanted to talk about is, some of the features that are on here that viewers, you guys might not be aware of, or anybody who comes across this. And the first one is a built-in mic. And it could be that I'm the only stupid guy who didn't realize that. But it's actually, as soon as I went into Device Manager, and I forget the viewer's name, I apologize, I was trying to find your name to throw you props, but I couldn't find you. But anyways, he mentioned that there was a built-in mic. Sure enough, you go into Device Manager, you can't miss it, right? I don't know why I missed it or how I missed it, but I did. The second thing I want to draw attention to is this dial here. That's the IPD Dial. And that acronym stands for interpupillary distance. So what they recommend is measuring the distance from the center of one pupil to the center of the other pupil. They let you dial between 62 and about 75 millimeters. The IPD for me is actually 78. And not only that, but you would think putting it closest to that based on their recommendations, which would be 75 in my case, the maximum, it actually wasn't more comfortable. I find around kind of the 68 mark, 69, roughly halfway, that's comfortable for me. So something to be aware of. Also, there's two dials on the side, right, that allow you to extend the HTC Vive's lenses out away from your eyes, right? So if you wear glasses or, you've got a head design that you're just too close to the lens, you can dial that in. Now, me personally, I kind of wish, because again, I just leave it on the default. That's the most comfortable. It's the closest to my eyes, right? I'd almost wish that they would have built the default one step closer. Because for me personally, none of the other dial outs, from setting 1 to 6, make any difference for me. So had they made the default a little bit closer, but I don't know, maybe they looked into that and it just wasn't feasible, or they felt it wasn't the best default position, fair enough, right? I don't know. But anyways, that's what those are for, okay? The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the, and quickly, that's pretty obvious, 3.5 millimeter stereo jack, right, for headphones. So you can put headbuds or over the ear headphones. But the coolest thing, and Duked 19, one of the viewers commented about eye covers. So I'm going to put the link below, and I, depending on my editing energy, will probably put a picture up on either side here showing them, but they are really cool. And this is one that also works on Samsung's VR gear, and it also works on the Oculus Rift, and it comes in two varieties. And because the HMD, so it's basically a foam lining, the default, right, with Velcro. That's really what it is. And I think I mentioned in a previous video, it's pretty easy to make your own. You can go to Home Depot, you get the foam insulating tape, right? And then you just get your own little Velcro kit for $2-3 at Home Depot, and you can cut your own out, right? I've done that, and it doesn't work too bad. But the advantage of these on this website, and I believe it's called VR Covers is the actual company name, right? But there's a couple of different varieties. So the one that really interested me is a waterproof one, which sounds kind of ridiculous because, yeah, you're not going underwater with it. But for a guy like me who sweats profusely, Duke 19 pointed this one out, and it looks awesome. So right away I placed an order for that and a cotton one, right? So the cotton one looks infinitely more comfortable because it's going to allow you to breathe. And I think that's the main issue with this. Even though I have a gap by the nose, that foam that they use just doesn't allow a lot of airflow, right? So it fogs up on me from time to time, and it definitely, if I'm really into a game and it's hot in my room here, it becomes drenched wet, which is gross. You don't want to give it to a buddy or, you know, a spouse or a kid when it's dripping sweat, right? So the leather one is going to be perfect for that, because you could probably use some cleaning solvent in between and just wipe it dry and you're good to go. And the cotton one, well, everybody knows cotton breathes, so that's awesome as well. And then the last peripheral that I want to talk about quickly is the VR glove, which Lord B, one of the viewers, brought to my attention, and also looks really cool. And I brought this up to one of my coworkers, and of course he joked, you know, he hasn't tried VR yet, but he's kind of one of the naysayers, right? Joked that it was basically the Nintendo Power Glove. And I guess aesthetically on the surface it kind of looks like a Power Glove. But let's be real here. It offers a lot more than the old Nintendo Power Glove ever did, right? That was basically just a couple of buttons on a glove, whereas this is going to have sensors on it. It's going to allow each individual finger to move, opening motions, right? If you've got a VR can, theoretically you should be able to open it. So the games application for that is freaking cool. But think about the practical application, right? I mean, I also mentioned in a previous video, VR would be awesome for training videos. Well, now you could kick that up a notch, because a lot of intricate stuff like, you know, millwrighting or being a mechanic or any of that kind of stuff requires hands-on that's more detailed than what a regular controller can provide, right? So freaking awesome. Thank you, Lord B, for pointing that out. And I'm going to be watching that one closely, and I have no doubt I'll probably place an order for that too. So just a quick video on some peripherals. I'm going to do a series of these, so there's a couple of things that I'm looking into, some other tips from viewers. I'm going to look into that, like hooking it up with a phone. I didn't realize you could do that, but I haven't had a chance to look into that yet, so I will, and post that in a future video. All right, guys, hopefully you found this informative. Let me know if you got any questions below, anything you want me to talk about specifically with regards to this video. If not, and either way, cheers.